Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 10 of the Flat Out Racing League Championship here in Shanghai. And I'm certainly looking forward to this race tonight. Hopefully it's a bit better than the real life Grand Prix on Sunday, but I'm fully expecting that, as these guys usually do put on a very good show for us. Sadly, I don't have the championship standings to read out. I completely forgot to screenshot them before this started, but we have 3 or 4 cars now coming out of the pit lane, which is good to see. Crowman, Bullet Boy going, Matty Shaw and North all on outlaps currently. It looks like the drivers are struggling a little bit with the grip, as Crowman is absolutely sliding around everywhere. Have just noticed that he is on the medium tyre, however. Yep, and there you go. A lot of drivers just on the medium, trying to get their iron before they do some laps later on in qualifying. Just got some yellow flags in sector 3, and they are all gone and away. I think literally everyone except for North is on a medium or soft compounded tyre at the moment on track. No, sounds like everyone is, well, at least Crowman here is carrying quite a bit of fuel. He's going for a supposed. He's certainly got the ERS settings up to max. DRS open, so he's going for it on this medium tyre lap. Be interesting to see what lap or what tyres he sets. His fastest lap on, but as he nearly does the Giovinazzi at the last corner there, as here at China, the ultra soft does not last very long. So not only for Crowman but for everyone, it'll be interesting to see what tyres they choose to qualify on. As we've got our first couple of runners coming across the line. North sets a 1:30.9. 1.5 seconds or so ahead of Matty Shaw, who's on the soft tyre, which is the gap between the two tyres. Crowman in 3rd, Bullet Boy in 4th, Fuller in 5th, Woods in 7th, and Tambo in 7th as well. Got Jason just starting to, just at the start of his lap. We've also got F1 Racer in the first sector as well. Not sure Woods is aware that Race is on a lap there, and he's totally compromised him. That's poor awareness there by Woods. Should be getting out the way on the not being on the racing line. Totally compromised F1 Racers line into turn 6 there, which is unfortunate. These things just do happen. I felt as if that was all rather unnecessary there. It's got some yellow flags sector 2. I assume that is just for Follett, who's letting everyone through on the straight. As race up hits the apex there quite nicely. It's now about to come through the last corner to set a lap time. Manages it quite nicely. And what lap time is he going to see? He's going to set a 1:33.4 there. These racers, we now got a complete full course yellow. Now just in the first and second sector, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but oh, it was Bullet Boy. Nearly spun it there. I don't know why exactly. It doesn't look like he's on a lap. Yeah, he's on a bit of a race simulation. He let past Anel Tanovic, but Anel is on an out lap. He is on the ultra soft currently, protecting those tyres as much as he possibly can. Be interesting to see. No, okay. Never mind what I was going to say. But very shortly we'll have every driver completing a lap. Oh, I've just seen that TARDIS and Jason are still in the pits, so we will not. Oh, Bullet Boy. Bit too eager on the acceleration there, and Anel has just done an outlap on those ultra soft tyres and come straight back into the pits. I think Bullet Boy is ready to qualify on whatever tyre he will be doing so. Certainly not the medium tyre. So just noticed Dino has just set a 1:31.1. Nice lap time there by the Force India driver. 2 Force Indias. 1-2 at the moment. We've had Randy go up into P3 with a 1:31.8. Got Dang as well, who's just set that lap time of a 1:32.5 on the ultra soft compound of tyre. Just watch him here into turn 6. I can't remember. I just missed how much he was down on his previous first sector time, but he is not even on a lap, so I'm not sure why I'm worrying about that. But North is about to start a new lap. Or good job to Fuller there, coming out the pits, realised that North was coming, taking a very nice and wide line there through 3, now through 4. Need to get a good exit out of here, and he does. Nice short shifting. Now on the run down to turn 6, so important to make sure you just clip the apex and don't go on that gravel. Good exit there, and now in towards turn 7. Well, what used to be a quite tricky corner is now just pretty much a flat out corner. Now into 8, just got to hug that inside curb, very nicely done. Negotiates those 2 left hand kinks very nicely indeed. Now up to one of the more difficult braking zones on the corner. Very easy to just go either deep or go over that curb. And speaking of the curb, you don't want to be getting on that curb. That's cost North a hell of a lot of time there in this last sector. Is he now opens up the DRS and he's in overtake mode. It still looks like he has quite a bit left for the end of the lap, as if you do just run in a hot lap mode for the whole lap, you run out usually just about here, which is not helpful. Now, coming into the last corner, he chucks the car in rather nicely on the shortest route to the line. What time is he going to set? He is not going to improve. He actually was a tenth slower, so I'm sure he'll be disappointed, especially with that last sector there going onto the curbing out of 12 into 13. Cost him a lot of time there, and that's why he didn't improve on his lap time of a 1:30.9, which is currently the provisional pole lap with just under 7 minutes remaining in this session. But I think we'll be seeing some times tumbling quite shortly on. I didn't even notice Woods has moved within about 400ths of North there with a 1:30.976. But now lots of people starting to put on the ultra soft. But I'm sure a few people will be looking to qualify on that soft compounded tyre. Sets you up rather nicely for just that one stop. As you can see there, Woods doesn't do what North did and go all over that exit curb, but he needs to be changing his ERS setting as soon as possible if he is actually doing a lap here. Oh, as we've got Fuller going on provisional pole with a 1:30.4, but we'll just flick back and Woods has gone into the pit lane, so that's a bit disappointing there. I don't think we'll be having any fast laps coming. The only fast laps that will probably be coming is from F1 Racer and Randy. I don't know why it changes from outlap as they get halfway down the final straight, but just do it when they cross the line, so then I know that these drivers have started their final lap, or their lap that they're doing. That would be lovely. So that's just one little gripe that I've got with Cody's today. Certainly not the first one, of course. Full race up. Taking a little bit of a tighter line than what was seen there through turn 3. A wide exit out of turn 4. Not entirely sure if that is indeed the fastest way, but that, hey-oh, that's the way he goes. As he sets a 24.7 through the first sector. Now, on the run to turn 7, well, he's had to lift off there. I know, but for me, it's a flat-out corner, which is quite interesting. Using 4th gear, and we've seen most people use 5th gear through this corner so far. Oh, and he's on all over the exit curb there. Now through 12, got to make sure you stay off that curb through 13, and indeed he has. Well done to you there, sir, for doing that. So now comes down the mammoth back straight here in China. Although of course it doesn't seem like that when you're just going at about 210 miles per hour. It's going to lovely just clip the apex there over the hairpin, and now it's coming up towards the final corner, which he just chucks the car in to the corner there. It does. F1 Race, on what time is he going to set? He's going to set 1:31.1, and I think he can find quite a bit of time in the first sector there, so solid lap, but I think he might be able to improve, but I don't know if he'll have time or not. So we have just over 3 minutes left in the session. No, I don't he definitely won't have time to set another lap. So it looks like that will be a 1:31.1 there for F1 Racer, as we had UK Demon retire. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. So we've got Randy, who's just completed his lap, a 1:31.2. Now I just have to try and figure out exactly where everyone is on circuit and who's actually on laps. Because Woods and Randy is certainly not, but everyone looks like they're coming out now for their final run in qualifying. So we've got Matty Shaw trundling down the pit lane at the moment. Ooze Deng on an outlap has spun it there in the Snell section in the first sector. Not what you want to be doing to your soft compounded tyres, that's for sure. Gotta try find whoever is closest to the line. It looks like that might just be Tambo, who's going to be our first of the last runners here in this session. Here he goes, coming down the pitch straight, upshifting into 8th, eventually taking a very wide line there through turn 1 and 2, so through turn 2. Decentish exit out of turn 4. So now heads to the first sector split. It's going to be a 24/7, which we did see also not too long ago from can't remember who it was, but one of the cars on the Ultra Softs. So a good match there by Tambo, who is of course on the soft compounded tyres, as Woods just set a 1:30.8. And that moves up into second place currently on the grid. So very good there by Woods. Don't go on the curb. Oh, he's completely ruined his lap pretty much there by going on the curb. Has Tambo. That certainly cost him a hell of a lot of time. Now with the DRS open, he is going to get well past 210 miles per hour. 213 miles per hour down the back straight, taking a nice wide entry into the hairpin there. Now coming up to the final corner, let's see how he negotiates this. Oh, bit of time left on the table there by Tambo, but what time is he going to see? He's going to set at 1:33.0. That mistake in the last sector has cost him quite some time. And now, where is everyone else? We've got a car ahead of Max, but going is set 1:32.1 on the soft compounded tyre. Max is coming to the pit lane, which is very annoying for me, at least as a commentator, because now I've got to try and find which car is next to cross the line. It looks like it's going to be Deng now coming across the line. What time is he going to see? He's going to say 1:32.0, and at the moment he is top of the soft compound tyre runners. So we have Bullet Boy on the soft compounded tyre. I'm not sure if anyone's going to be able to beat Full Air's time here of a 1:30.4. No, I don't think so. As Bullet Boy comes through the final corner and across the line, then he sets a 1:31.8, and now he is top of the soft compound tyre runners. But I think that is all she wrote here. Yes, it is indeed. Full Air is on pole. I will read out the classifications very, very shortly for you guys. And there we have it. On a 1:30.4, Full Air takes pole position. Fantastic job there by Full Air. Woods is in second on a 1:30.8. 4-3. Third is North. Fourth is F1 Racer. Fifth is Dino. Sixth is Randy. 7th is Matty Shaw, 8th is Bullet Boy, 9th is Deng, 10th is Going, 11th is Jason, 12th is Crowman, Tambo is 13th, Max is 14th, and Altanovic is 15th, TARDIS is 16th, and UK Demon is in 17th position. But certainly a lot of varied strategy there with a lot of people choosing to qualify on the soft compounded tyre. But it looks like we're going to have some overcast conditions for the race. I believe the weather was going to match what it was in real life. So that is why we have got some overcast conditions for this race here in Shanghai. So we're just waiting for everyone to load into the session once more. And we are finally loaded in to the start of the formation lap, and that just signals perfect time for me to go and quickly get a drink. Accidentally pulled. I need to see if it is back and connected. Yes, it is indeed. So apologies for that just there, silly me. Yep, but I will just be back shortly as I'm going to get a drink, as I forgot to grab one before I started. Right, and I am back now as the drivers are coming along the back straight. So I had a few people disqualified and are starting on the grid, or just sitting on the grid I should be saying. Fuller has just been disqualified for probably going too slow under the formation lap, which is quite ridiculous in my opinion. Oh, just noticed we've got Jason, who's starting 11, has a free choice of what tyre to start on, and he's starting on the medium compounded tyre. So there you have it. So I just now need to get up to see if there are any comments coming through. Oh, hello to Galactic Skull in the chat, good to see you along, mate. As we are now start of the light signals, the signal to start the race, 5 lights and lights out, and away we go. It looks like it was a pretty solid start there for Woods. He's got the inside line here for turn 1. Can he make the move up the inside here? Off full air, but no full air. Oh, there's a William off in the background, but currently we've got full air leading from Woods. Then a bit further back, we've got the Force Indias. One of the Force Indias is battling with F1 Racer here. And can F1 Racer get the job done up the inside of turn 6 on the Force India? Oh, yes, he can. Great move there by F1 Racer, and that's moved to place. A bit further back, The soft tyre runners are Dang, Going and Crowman, I think have all moved up positions, as it was a Bullet Boy who went off spinning, I believe, with a Red Bull at the start of this race. So unfortunate for those guys there who made contact in the first sequence of corners, but was certainly not lacking action. Oh, it was a Mercedes of Going. Absolutely looked like he's going to launch it down the inside there. I think he might have just outbroken himself, however, but Fuller here with a pretty good lead of about a second already. As, geez, that Mercedes, we've got a couple of Mercedes looking very strong here, especially Randy. Is he close enough to make a move on Dino? No, but we've got Going up the inside. Oh, with the Red Bull of Crowman goes very deep, nearly into the back of Dang, and he has made up that position there as Going up on Crowman, up into P8. Good taking advantage. Oh! Oh! Woods has hit the wall and there's chaos! A couple of cars have retired here at the start of this Grand Prix now. I'm not sure who else that was, but Woods has gone careening across the track out of the final corner after crashing and has taken out a bunch of cars here. Oh, that is a real shame for Randy and a couple of other drivers who have had their race severely compromised by another driver's rather simple mistake. As Mark Ellis in the chat is saying, go on full air. So there you go, full air. You got a man cheering on for you, and he's currently doing a very good job here, leading by 3 seconds. And of course, Woods was in second place, I believe. So that has just naturally created that gap. Well, what a chaotic start to this Grand Prix we've had. And the soft tyre runners of Deng, Going and Crowman and Anna on the medium tyre are really now getting up towards the top, and that's where the battle is going to be for the time being, between all these guys on the soft or either medium compound of tyres. Going is now under pressure here by Crowman. Crowman is going to have to go the long way around into the braking zone of the hairpin. The Mercedes of Going defends rather well and maintains that 5th place position for the moment. But now with another dosage of DRS, is he going to be able to hold off Crowman here into turn 1? He's certainly got a very good run. Sorry, no DRS. But now, oh, Crowman, I thought he just faked a move up the inside there. But he has not indeed, as Max, the McLaren, has retired from the session. But there's certainly a major battle going on all the way from 5th down to Bullet Boy here. Also Bulletproof in 8th, not Bullet Boy. Bullet Boy, I think, had some contact in the first couple of corners, and that's why he's down in P10 at the moment. The good thing being on board here with Jason is that we can just see anything that's happened as Crowman is getting very close once more to Going, but has used quite an amount of ERS already in the first couple of laps. But now with DRS being available, always, and Altanovic has lost a place there to Bulletproof, but now Going in the slipstream. So Crowman in the slipstream and Going. He's going to try go to the inside. Going defends that well. Crowman's going to have to go around the outside here. The Mercedes, is he going to be able to do it? Nearly hits the back of the Renault, but he's done a brilliant move there by Crowman around the outside of Going there at the hairpin. Fantastic, fantastic move. And now he will set his sights on Deng, but with no ERS, he could be potentially under threat here from going into turn 1, but no. With the DRS there, he's managed to hold on for the time being, as these guys are now starting to close in to F1 Racer for that 3rd place. But now Bullet Boy is putting some pressure on Going here into turn 6. Potentially going to look for a move up the inside, but no, yet he's decided not to. Oh, if he maybe had used a bit more ERS there, he could have went for the move. No real need to at this time being. These guys are just following each other now up to the back of F1 Racer. as the ultra soft tyres are starting to go off now in this very early stage of the Grand Prix. As we can see here, Deng now closing up to the back of F1 Racer. Through turn 13 we go. Breath Driver's very conservative on the throttle, and we've got going back up past Crowman. So I don't know what exactly has happened there. But now, Deng in the slipstream of F1 Racer. F1 Racer defends the inside line. Deng's going to have to go the long way around once again at the hairpin. Will he be able to get the job done? Yes, he will. Oh, and Crowman, I don't know what's happened there, but him and Going must have had some major side-by-side battling, as now Bulletproof is somehow himself up in the 5th place. He was just in 7th, as we've got North in the pit lane off those ultra soft tyres. At this stage of the race, sorry, I just had a quick glance at the chat of Daniel Osborne saying full air is a dosser, and I just immediately think of Tyson Fury when I hear the word dosser, so it's just gave me a little bit of giggle. But Going is of course was leading these soft tyre runners, well, just behind Deng actually. He's now found himself in 6th place after him and Crowman lost out to Bulletproof. Oh, it was Bulletproof, I thought then, was going to make a move on his Ferrari teammate. Bit of poor communication there. I think Bulletproof got held up a little bit by his teammate there, but he has now moved himself up into 3rd place and is now going to actually lose the DRS, which he could have potentially had from his Ferrari comrade. But I don't think that'll matter, as these ultra soft tyres are well and truly fallen off the cliff. At Crowman now going to go down, going to get the inside line for the hairpin here on F1 Racer. Will he be able to make the move stick? As Going is certainly an interested onlooker here, as Crowman has got the move done. Now it'll be interesting to see if F1 Racer wants to come in the pit lane here, and yes he does. Nearly hits the back of Crowman, but he doesn't, and that is the main thing. So we have also Full Air pitting from the lead of the Grand Prix. That promotes Deng into the lead of the race, who has a 1 second lead here over Bulletproof, just starting the 6th lap of the Grand Prix here in Shanghai. We have Crowman in 3rd, 4th, and Altanovic on that medium compounded tyre here in 5th, but he's certainly doing a good job here of putting these guys under pressure. Bullet Boy's in 6th after an early spin at turn 1 and 2 on the 1st lap. Tambo's in 7th on the soft compounded tyre. Jason's in 8th. UK Demon is in 9th. Fuller, who's just pitted, is in 10th. North is in 11th. F1 Racer is in 12th. Dino's in 13th. Randy is in 14th. And Matty Clark, who's quite a ways away, is in 14th position. But just on this lap, we've had Bullet Boy manage to get in the DRS, I believe, of Deng, and we're going to see this rear flap on the Ferrari open up, I believe. Yes, indeed, we do. As Deng is also getting a little bit of slipstream from the Red Bull here, who's... Oh, it's... Matty's actually not in the race, it's just an AI car, and that's actually compromised Bulletproof's run there through the hairpin quite a bit, as quite clearly we don't have the ghosting system on here this evening. But Bulletproof looking a bit quicker. Oh, as we've got Crowman and Going at it here back. Crowman and Going battling. As we've got Anno up the inside here of Crowman. And now Anno with Crowman back up the inside is going to have to go the long way around through turn 4, and he's just lost out there. He had a major snap of oversteer, but will he look to dive it up the inside of turn 6? No, he does think better of it, and Anno's going to go, they're just going to stay in P5. But Anno is certainly just going to get quicker and quicker in this race on that medium compounded tyre. But I've just seen now with these two battling, Bullet Boy is now starting to close in ever so slightly on these two. And of course, Bullet Boy is an extremely quick driver, and you don't want him on your tail. As now Anel is going to try and look to make his way past Crowman here with the help of some ERS and of course drag reduction system DRS. It looks like it's going to be a fairly comfortable move here for Anel Tanovic. He has the inside line for the corner. Crowman's not gonna go down without a fighting here, but Anel with the inside line chops off Crowman on the exit of the corner and gets that 4th place. But I'm sure Crowman will try and fight back here on the main straight, but it doesn't look like that will be possible as he doesn't have too much ERS. But at the front here, as I was saying a couple of laps ago, Bulletproof is doing a good job here of closing up to Dang, and that is certainly going to be a battle that we're going to be seeing very shortly, as Bulletproof has been constantly catching Dang here in the last couple of laps ever since Dang moved into the lead of the Grand Prix. Through turn 7 we go, as Dino next door sets fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 1:35.4. As we have Fuller making up a couple of positions, making up a position on North actually, who has also pitted. Now Bulletproof, as he makes his way through turn 13, is certainly more than close enough to Dang to potentially make a move in to the hairpin as he opens up the DRS. Is he going to be close enough into the braking zone? Oh, he thought about it. He thought about the move into the hairpin. But Dang's just done very well there, making sure that he's not making a mistake. It's now coming through the last corner, surely into turn 1. Bulletproof is going to be trying to look to take the lead of this Grand Prix, and he is closing on Dang here. But Dang defends just about perfectly into turn 1. But now with the inside line for turn 2 is Bulletproof. Oh, he's gone very wide there and just completely shut off Dang's line. But what's more important is Bulletproof is now up into P1, but Dang with a brilliant exit there out of turn 5. He's going to try and make the move back up the inside of turn 6. No, he thinks better of it. But that is Bulletproof up into P1 of this race ahead of Dang. And this has certainly been a very good performance here by Bulletproof. But Dang not panicking too much, realising that battle, that there's no point battling as they have nearly a 3-second gap to going, as both of them cut that corner there. Bullet Boy now in the Williams is closing in on Crowman. And as they go through turn 13, he is certainly within striking distance of Crowman, who won't have DRS from Anel Tanovic. And it looks like this should be a quite comfortable move for Bullet Boy, who has the inside line here on Crowman. But Crowman tries to defend around the outside, and it looks like he might just stay ahead into the braking zone for the last corner. Indeed he does. He maintains P5 for the time being. But now down the pitch straight, it looks like it's going to be certainly just a bit of a matter of time here as Bullet Boy goes clean around the outside of Crowman there into turn 1. Very nice move there by the Williams driver. And now he'll have his sights set on Anel Tanovic, who was just 1.5 seconds up the road in P4. But Crowman not close enough to strike Bullet Boy there. But Anel now with just within a second of going here for P3. Of course, Anel on the medium compounded tyre, so when he puts on that soft compound, or who knows, he could even go as long as to go onto the ultra soft, knowing Anel's tyre saving ability. Be very fast at the end of this race, but going on that curb through 13 and out the exit of 12 certainly doesn't help. That certainly costs you a lot of time, but Crowman is still within DRS here of Bullet Boy. But I don't think he'll be close enough. Certainly not close enough to Bullet Boy there. And we don't really have any other battles on track as Crowman has decided to come into the pits. He's gone where the gravel used to be, of course, where Lewis Hamilton in his debut season went into the gravel at China, cost himself the championship pretty much. As now we have Crowman, who's going to get a new front wing, interestingly. He's going on the medium compounded tyres, so he'll be looking to go to the end now. And out he goes. But interesting enough, we've got Full Air and North now behind Jason, who has been running on that medium compounded tyre since the beginning of this race. It's going to be very important for Full Air and North to get past Jason as soon as they possibly can. You can't lose time when you're going to be on a two-stop strategy. And there you go, you just see how much more grip they've got compared to Jason. As he goes on the gravel there, Full Air was thinking about going up the inside, but just was not close enough. As Jason looks like he is struggling on these medium compounded tyres now. Sliding about everywhere. And Full Air should be able... Oh, but Jason actually has a solid exit there out of turn 13. But now with some overtake mode and some with DRS, he should be able to close and overtake Jason. But Jason is certainly using a high ERS mode, as Full Air has just about made it up the inside there of Jason, as they're side by side now coming into the final corner. But Jason thinks better of it, backs out, but we have Bullet Boy and Deng in the pit lane here. It'll be interesting to see where they come out in terms of traffic. They come out in some clean air, although I'm not too sure about Bullet Boy. Yeah, Bullet Boy's got some clean air as well, but Jason and North are battling, and Jason looks like he is definitely struggling on those medium tyres, as he nearly lost the car out of turn 4 there, as we see Full Air and North get ahead of Jason there and up into P5 and P6 respectively. But now with those pit stops, it means that Anel is in 3rd place, just a tiny bit behind Going, well, just under a second. And Going is about 5 seconds adrift of Bulletproof, who's driving a fantastic race here in Shanghai, and I assume that he is going to respond to the guys who have just pitted and pit himself and go on the medium compound of tyre. And indeed he does. He comes into the pit lane now. Doesn't go wide or anything, doesn't cost himself any time whatsoever. Makes the speed limit a-okay, and we also have Going coming into the pit lane now. Let's see if he needs any front wing change. No, he doesn't. And I don't think the Mercedes of Going does either. But now Anel Tanovic is in the lead of the race on that medium compounded tyre. He's done a fantastic job so far, has Anel Tanovic. Now he's going to have the lead over Full Air, who is still in turn 2. There you go, he has the 13th second lead over the man who was already stopped. That is Full Air and North. As Crowman in P10 has set the fastest lap of the race. And as you can see, just with the differing strategies, we have Bulletproof in P5, Deng in 6th, F1 Racer in 7th, but he did pit early. Going in 8th, who was just in P2 there, or P3 before he pitted, I think he was at least. But Bulletproof behind Jason now, who we've seen struggling on his tyres previously. For but North is really closed up to the back here of Full Air on these soft tyres. Oh, but runs wide at the exit of turn 13. But with DRS and some ERS, he won't be able to get close enough, as now Bulletproof is going to breeze past Jason and moves back onto the racing line even before the corner. Oh, but he's gone wide there, has Bulletproof, but Jason is oh so kind, and Bulletproof has maintained that position. But now North is within striking distance here. Full P2, but Full Air defends well. North was thinking about going around the outside, but Full Air defending hard and defending well, and this is just music to the ears of Anel Tanovic, who's just trying to make that medium strategy from the start work. As North just not close enough, and we did see whilst we're watching this battle that Bullet Boy found his way past, going 4P8, so well done to Bullet Boy there. We didn't quite see it as we were focusing on Full Air and North. But we're going to have Bulletproof, Dang, Bullet Boy going, Crowman, all going to the end of this race. So your effective race leader here is Bulletproof, as Anel, of course, is on a one stop, but he's going to have to pit again. He certainly doesn't have the, I think it's about 22 or 23 second gap that you need for a pit stop. Anel certainly doesn't have that, as now he comes into the pits rather early, I expect, off that medium tyre. As Bullet Boy is sent it down the inside there of F1 Racer, and now who's got the better traction coming out of that hairpin? The Ferrari's still there on the inside, but Bullet Boy around the outside there. Fantastic move, and he is now up into P6, as we had Anel Tanovic pitting, of course. He's gone onto the soft compounded tyre very early, so it looks like Anel might be on a two-stop strategy here, which is rather weird, I believe. The one-stop strategy is far superior around this circuit. We have North and Full Air going hammer and tong here for the lead of the Grand Prix. But we have Bulletproof. It's so difficult with the two bullets. So we have Bulletproof just behind North as well. North very late on the brakes there. I thought and Full Air going a little bit deep there in 13. But now it's going to be Bullet Boy in the slipstream of North, and before the DRS even activation point, he pulls out of the slipstream, and it looks like he's going to absolutely fly past North and potentially try and make a move on Full Air here into the braking zone. But he's not going to be allowed to, and I think he loses out to the Force India as well. And the Williams there I thought was moving back across, but the Force India, where has he gone? I think he's gone into the pit lane, has he? Yes, indeed he has. But what's going on further back down? There's some absolute chaos, and it looks like Dang has come out for worse here, as we're 3 wide down the straight. Whoa, the devil! Anel Tanovic and going have had a major collision there. It looks like going forced Anel Tanovic onto the grass and into the wall of what I saw of that incident, and going and Anel Tanovic are out of the Grand Prix. Oh dearie me, it looked like a rather avoidable incident that was, but going and Anel Tanovic are out of the Grand Prix. Major contact that we just seen there. And now that is going to open up some opportunities for some guys further back to get some good points finishes. But Bulletproof is now looking to take his lead of the race back. Of course, he's going to be one stopping here in this race, but Full Air is going to have to two stop and might even come in on the end of this lap to put on that the medium compound, as Bullet Boy has found himself past Jason. But Bulletproof now in the slipstream of Full Air. Full Air defends the inside line. Bulletproof with the fresh set of tyres goes for the switchback. Oh, what a move that is by Full Air. A lovely switchback there coming out of their hairpin on Full Air, and he is retaken the lead of this Grand Prix. Fantastic driving there by the Ferrari. Oh, as we've got Bullet Boy now out the race as well. What's going on? What has happened to him? Has he crashed coming out the final corner? No, he's crashed coming into the pit lane. And Deng, what is Deng doing now? What is going on? He's in reverse and then just going forward. Oh, it looks like there's been some contact with Deng and Bullet Boy perhaps. Going into the pit lane, I'm not exactly sure what's happened there, as Deng and Bullet Boy are now out of this Grand Prix. What chaos we have seen here in the last couple of laps unfold, ladies and gentlemen, as we now have, Jesus, we only have 10 actual runners in this Grand Prix, and we have a virtual safety car. And ooh, whereabouts are these guys on track? We could see Full Air and a couple of other drivers benefit from this, and I do expect Full Air F1 racer potentially to dive into the pit lane. And yes, here we go, Full Air, who could be a big beneficiary from this virtual safety car, coming into the pit lane, of course, because everyone is going at a certain set speed and not going at the true speed that and you wouldn't lose as much time from pitting, of course, as they aren't going at the natural racing speed here. So Full Air essentially gets a half free pit stop. He doesn't get a free pit stop, but a half free pit stop, as we also have F1 racer and a couple other drivers coming into the pit lane. But we are now back under green flag conditions here after we've seen Deng and Bullet Boy go out of this Grand Prix, as Crowman is 13 seconds behind Bulletproof and Full Air is 6 seconds behind Crowman. But now Crowman is going to have to put up a fantastic drive. So he's on old mediums, is where the guys all behind him now are on fairly fresh soft tyres. But one big loser from this has been North, who pitted just 2 laps ago for those soft compound tyres. If he had just waited for that virtual safety car, which of course he wouldn't know was happening, he is lost out there, but he's still quite close to Full Air, just about 2 seconds. But everyone here should be able to go to the end of the Grand Prix. So no more pit stops, but everyone is rather spread out here. But I expect Full Air to be closing up to Crowman, and indeed he is. He's gained up more than a second already on this current lap, as we have the AI of Matty Shaw going into the pit lane, which I think threw off Full Air quite a bit there in the final corner. Oh, Full Air going a little bit deep there in 3. But he is going to have to do a good drive here. Great English there by myself, to find his way up to the back of Crowman before race end, if he wants to get that second place. Because quite honestly, I don't think Bulletproof is going to be reached today. He's driven a fantastic race, showed some fantastic pace all day long, especially when he got past Bullet Boy and a couple of other drivers. So I got past Going, and I think F1 Racer it was at the time, and he's just gone on and gone on. Built a nice gap before the first pit stops, for the one-stoppers, and is now 15 seconds ahead of Crowman as he just begins lap 20 of the Grand Prix. There you go, North setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1:34.8. Not quite the fastest lap that we've seen in the Grand Prix yesterday. I think it was a 1:34.6 by Pierre Gasly. He only got it by a tenth over Sebastian Vettel, by the way. He was basically doing a qualifying lap and could still only just go quicker than Vettel's time. It just shows you how much Gasly is struggling in that Red Bull at the moment. As Dino next door sets a 1:34.5, and I believe that would be the fastest lap that we would have seen in yesterday's Grand Prix. So well done to Dino. And of course we do get some points for the fastest lap. I forgot how many points in this league. Of course the Flat Out Racing League. But Anel Tanovic has seen enough after being crashed out of the race by Going. And he is rather disappointed, I'm sure. But I think it's just a matter of waiting here for Fuller to close up to Crowman for that second place. Don't think we're going to be seeing much action on track. That virtual safety car and dang Bullet Boy Going and Anel crashing out has certainly ended quite a bit of the excitement that we've seen throughout this Grand Prix, as North with a pretty nasty corner cut right there. Sometimes it does just happen, however. Where did Bulletproof actually start in last place, as I've just been informed in the chat? Yes, he has. He started in last. Oh my days. Well, this has just made his drive even better. It's like Alex Albon, but just not finishing in P10. It looks like Bullet Boy is going to probably finish first here. I'm not going to try and curse it, but what a fantastic drive that we've seen here by Bulletproof. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I was not aware of that. I completely forgot of how everything looked after qualifying. But wow. I'm sure everyone will be singing his praises in the chat afterwards. But North just looks to be struggling a little bit there through turn 13. And I think this man deserves to be going on board and have his race displayed. Bulletproof, what a fantastic drive. Started in last place, and he is now just dominated this Grand Prix. And I've also just seen that he has no setup because he joined in qualifying. Wow, I think what a drive by Bulletproof. Of course, the default setup on this game is actually not too bad whatsoever. But what a fantastic drive this has been by Bulletproof. And he is just commanding this race here. 16 seconds ahead of Crowman, who was in P2 behind him. Started in last. He just flied through the... That doesn't sound right for whatever reason. He just absolutely went through everyone in the field. Remember, he got past Going, and I believe it was Crowman. As they were battling, he managed to get down the inside of them at the hairpin, or get past them at the hairpin, sorry. And ever since that, he's been in a commanding position. Of course, he still had to overtake, I believe, Deng, and a couple of other cars, but since then it's been plain sailing for Bulletproof. Fantastic drive. Of course, it's not over until we see that checkered flag, but looks like he is heading for race victory. And of course, who knows, those medium tyres could just deteriorate and cause a little bit of trouble. And as I was singing his praises, he lost about a second to Crowman on that previous lap. Fuller is closing in eventually here to Crowman, but not really at the rate of knots that I thought he would. The gap is just 3 seconds, and when he came out the pits I think it was about 6, so Fuller not closing in perhaps as much as I thought he would. And it looks like, if anything, he's going to be coming under pressure from North potentially. Fuller has lost the rear end a couple of times on this lap already, and with North just 1.2 seconds behind, he might just be able to find his way back up to Fuller here. Oh, and Fuller just going on that curb. That's going to cost him a little bit of time, but North, we've seen him struggle through turn 13 quite a bit so far. And I think that will just... won't compromise him too much as Bulletproof sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 1:34.3. He goes to everyone. Cop that! He's on 11 lap old medium tyres and he's just set the fastest lap of the race. I think it shows you just how quick Bulletproof is and what a fantastic job he is doing. Wowee. As we have Tambo now closing into UK Demon here for 6th place, as UK Demon is on 10 lap old soft compounded tyres, and there he goes, just see a battle on track. He comes into the pit lane, and I assume that he is just going to go onto the ultra soft tyre and try and set that fastest lap of the Grand Prix as he loses position to Jason, who of course did start on the medium compounded tyre as well, just like Anil Tanovic was doing. Looks like he's going to pick up a very strong points finish here. But we'll move our attention back up to where we could potentially see North just get the DRS on full air here. Will he? I don't know. I don't think so. That was very, very close, with North just on a second behind full air. But it must be said, I don't think full air is actually going to catch Crowman here. The gap is starting to stabilise at just above 3.5 seconds. And now it looks like full air is going to come under pressure from North Ends in the coming laps. Because once you get some DRS to another car on this game, it's very hard to break that gap. And North now through turn 1. He does have a lot of ERS as well, it must be said. Whereas full air, not so much. He doesn't have as much ERS. So that could come into play here in the coming laps. Of course, lap 25 out of 28. As Bulletproof is leading with a 17-second margin precisely to Crowman, who Bulletproof did start last. Wow, I'm still blown away by his pace. And even though we had the retirements of Deng, Bullet Boy going and Anno, I don't think it would have mattered, as Bulletproof was already behind North. Oh, as Full Air's made a little tiny mistake there in the exit of turn 12. And now through turn 13, North Ends will be trying to get as good of a run as possible down the long back straight now, with DRS and overtake mode engaged. He is closing rapidly here on Fuller, but he's just not going to be close enough into the braking zone. Oh, but I thought he was going to potentially hit the back of Fuller on that disconnected car. And Matty Sure, I think, is going to play some havoc here. Yes, it is. It's completely compromised Fuller's run here as North nearly went into the back of it there, but Fuller's got some DRS as they head down in towards turn 1. Fuller looks like he's defended that pretty well. But, oh, is North going to try and slip down the inside? No, not Fuller defends that very well indeed. But that disconnected car of Matty Shaw completely compromised Fuller's run there through the final corner. Very lucky not to run into the back of him indeed. And Fuller, for the time being here, has maintained P3. But just trying to check the ERS. Oh, yes. Fuller needs to be trying to save as much ERS as he possibly can, as Fuller has quite a large amount of ERS, probably just over half there, as we can see on the steering wheel of the Force India. And now coming up towards turn 12. Oh, that's exactly what Fuller is doing. He's saving some ERS, and Northants didn't quite expect to have that closing speed on the Williams driver. Hit the back of him. I'm not entirely sure if he has damage. Certainly doesn't look like it visually, but he probably has some actual damage. But now in the slipstream, we're open with the DRS in overtake mode. He's going to have to try and go around the outside of the Williams here into the braking zone of the hairpin. Oh, there's been a little bit of contact there between the two. The Force India North has gone for a little half spin there, but thankfully there's not been a major spinning out there. But North is now used up most of his ERS advantage, but Fuller, I assume with barely any ERS, is going to try and now go around the outside of the Williams. The Williams still has the inside line here for turn 2. Oh, the Force India trying to go the long way around it. He hasn't made it work. Oh, and he's hit the back of the Williams again. But I thought he was going to go for a major spin. But now down into turn 6, he's going to try. Oh, as Fuller goes on the grass, he's going to try and go down the inside here of Fuller. But Fuller is going to have to switch back on him, and he has maintained P3 somehow, as North just overcooked it there into turn 6. Oh dear, this has been a fantastic battle here between the two. But that ERS advantage that I was potentially talking about for North, well, not potentially, that North did have over Fuller, has completely disappeared now, as North is still well and truly within striking distance here on Fuller. And through turn 13 they come. North is certainly going to be struggling on his tyres now. 11 lap old soft tyres. You start to struggle once you get on about lap 10, as Randy sets fast lap of 1:33.335. Sadly, he couldn't have gone a 2,000ths faster there. But North not quite close enough to try and make a move on Fuller there into the hairpin. But now as we go on to the final lap of the Grand Prix, who is going to get the job done? North has the DRS down the main straight. Going to try and go clean around the outside. Oh, there's been contact. There has been major contact, and I did see some front wing go flying off, and that could mean the end of the battle for whichever driver that happened to. North was trying to go around the outside of Fuller. Fuller perhaps wasn't expecting it, and there was some contact there between the two. And just looking from the way that North went through that turn 6, I think he might have some damage. Yes, indeed he does, and that's going to spoil us of what seemed to be a battle to the very end between Fuller and North for that last podium position. It looks like Fuller is going to clinch it. But now coming to the end of the race now, it's going to be Bulletproof, who has one corner left with a brilliant drive, starting from last, and now he's going to win the Chinese Grand Prix. Round 10 of the championship is Bulletproof's. He started in last, but that doesn't matter whatsoever, and he has won this Grand Prix. A fantastic one-stop strategy there by Bulletproof, and he has claimed first place, and Crowman has claimed P2, just 20 seconds behind Full Air there. Full Air is going to finish in third place, 5 and a bit seconds behind Crowman. North is going to finish in P4. Thought he could have challenged Full Air there on the final lap of the race, but contact at turn 1 meant that did not happen. And Tambo is going to come across the line in P6. He has some front wing damage, I've just noticed there. But Jason has been caught out by that disconnected car of Matty Shaw, nearly going into the back. UK Demon is going to finish in P8. Dino in P9. And that is all she wrote for round number 10 of the Flat Out Racing League Championship here in Shanghai. And what a fantastic race we have just witnessed, battling to the bitter end. Sadly not to the checkered flag, but certainly to the last lap, after we've seen contact between Full Air and North. But it is Bulletproof who started in last place, who takes victory here in China. I can't quite get across to you how good of a drive that is, and I'm sure as you are fellow league racers listening and watching, you understand just how good that drive is, and with a default setup nonetheless. Wowee. But there you go. That is the final classification, as Randy finished in P10. He was a lap down, of course. But wow, what a fantastic race we have just had here in the Chinese Grand Prix. We have Bulletproof taking the victory, Crowman is second, third is Full Air, North is fourth, F1 Racers fifth, Tambo is 6th, Jason is 7th, UK Demon finishes in 8th, 9th is Dino, 10th is Randy, and our retirements are Matty Shaw, Deng, Bullet Boy, Going, and Altanovich, Max, Woods, and TARDIS. So 8 DNFs here today in China, but that has been it, ladies and gentlemen. What a fantastic display of racing we've just seen, and what has just been put on by the drivers. And I will now say goodbye to you, as we will, we'll once again see you this time next week for round number 11 of the Flat Out Racing League Championship. It's been a pleasure to have so many of you along tonight, so thank you for that once more. And that has been it for me, guys. I'll see you next week. It's been me, Neblo331. Goodbye. Jesus, what a race.